transmission malfunction.
Oh, shit.
Yep, that is indeed your boy. It turns out, I am not a mechanic. What started as a pretty straightforward car build 6 months ago turned into something else entirely.
That is oil that we found on the ground. That is a lot of oil.
One who it is that's telling you that.
Everyone's playing the lame game today.
Yes! I'm faking every single amount of energy I have right now.
That is definitely oil.
Yes!
So, this is the car. This is Uncle's S5. It is a 2016 Premium Plus. I was about to say Prestige. This is the Premium Plus package. So, supercharged V6, about 300-ish horsepower, 300 pound-feet of torque. And it's in solid shape. There are some defects. We can see the hood is not looking too good right now. I don't know if you can see that too well. But we are going to replace the front bumper. We're going to replace a lot of stuff on this car. The mirror caps, the wheels, we got side skirts, we got a spoiler. We have some stuff for the interior as well, some magnetic paddle shifters. If you've seen my M3 video, you know that I love me some magnetic paddles. It's a must-have for any dual clutch equipped car.
So back when I was getting ready to leave the house for college, I didn't want to stay in the dorms because some of y'all kids be real nasty. And so I had to get an apartment, and I had a job, but it wasn't exactly an executive position, so I needed to find somewhere to live where the rent would be cheap. And lo and behold, my dad's older brother, Uncle Phil, just so happened to have a vacant first floor apartment and a 2-flat that he owned. I didn't really have a relationship with my Uncle Phil prior to this. He would come to the house from time to time, but he was a very touch and go kind of guy. But despite being pretty hesitant to do so, he decided to let my brother and I live there and rent out his first floor for a very affordable price. And this is the place where I effectively learned to become an adult and embraced and entered adulthood on my own. Towards the final year of me living in his building, I found out that he was sick. He got diagnosed with cancer. And I didn't really know how bad it was because he was a private guy. He didn't really like to have people in his business, even family. And so I didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. And to be honest, we didn't get to really have a lot of just regular, casual guy like conversations that weren't related to the apartment. But I do remember one of the last kind of just like casual conversations we ever had was about his 2016 B8.5 Audi S5. He absolutely loved this car, and he was talking to me about potentially doing a tune on it, you know, a stage 2 build for some more power, extract some more excitement from the car. And next thing you know, months pass, his health declines even more, and then I end up having to leave the apartment to move to New Jersey for work. A year and a half later after that, he passed away.
Miles has always wanted to find a way to honour his Uncle Phil, who helped Miles at the most critical point in his journey. And so Miles connected with his cousin David, Uncle Phil's son, and together they set out on a plan to do a complete Stage 2 Plus build on the Audi S5, but with a twist. Miles, with the help of David and a couple of mates, set out to complete this build, which includes an upgraded powertrain, new suspension, an exhaust, and more carbon fibre than your grandpappy could dream of in a matter of 3 days. It all must be done before his best friend gets married at the end of the week. Why such a strict timeline? Well, Miles might just be a fucking idiot, innit?
But wish us luck. We've got a great team. I think we're gonna get this done. We have 3 days to do an entire build on this car, starting from scratch. I don't know if this was a good idea. I don't know, but we're here now.
So here's what we're trying to put on this car. Firstly, courtesy of 034 Motorsports and FCP Euro, we've got an upgraded heat exchanger, a new supercharger pulley, a larger billet crank pulley, a new carbon fiber intake system, 034 ZTF wheels, and an ECU tuning kit to get the extra power. And then from Bilstein and FCP Euro, we've got the Bilstein PSS10 B16 coilovers, give this car a nice low stance. And then from Canadian Auto Performance, we've got a new RS5 style front bumper, a carbon fiber rear diffuser, a carbon fiber side skirt kit, a carbon fiber spoiler, and carbon fiber magnetic paddle shifters. And then lastly, from Active Auto Works, we've got their Touring Catback exhaust system, which is much needed because this car is very quiet. But we've got quite the workload set out for us.
All right, so I figured before we, install all these parts, we might as well actually take the car for a drive and see what it's like to, see what it feels like to actually drive it before we do all these mods to it. So this is my first time driving the S5. I've actually never driven this generation of S5 at all, so you're witnessing my raw, in real-time reaction to driving this car. So that's actually cool how you just like punch it in and then it's like, it's kind of like an interesting twist on what Porsche does for their like startup sequence. Wow, yeah. It's quick. For only less than 350 horsepower, it's quick. It gets up. It honestly feels quicker than I thought it would. And yeah, you're not waiting for turbo spool. It's just that instantaneous. It's got a very NA power delivery and throttle response. I like that. And yeah, that dual clutch is quick. Yeah, my uncle came from a 370Z, which, you know, I'm not the biggest Z fan, but I remember when he brought this home and he was just raving about how good the dual clutch was in comparison to the, you know, the somewhat questionable manual that he had in his 370Z. This is, yeah. It's a lot more refined than what you have in the equivalent dual clutch of, you know, BMWs of this era. I'm not really hearing that supercharger whine, but we're gonna fix that. When we're done with this car, we will hear lots of supercharger whine, that is for sure. We also really can't hear that exhaust that much. It's pretty quiet. We're hearing more front end than rear end. I really can't hear anything out of the back at all. It's a pretty quiet car. It's actually one of the more quiet cars for even this era. So, I mean, that's something we're gonna change as well. Shout out to AWE. Overall, this is just getting me really hyped to do this now that I know where we're starting. Now that I know what this car is in bone stock form, which is already like a perfectly satisfactory experience for the most part, the fact that we're gonna dial this up to 11, I'm hyped for that.
After the first voyage in its stock form, the birthday suit if you will, it was time for the gang to get started taking the car apart. This is where they'd realize that shit is about to get real.
Grant, how much do you know about Audis?
Not a thing.
Same. I also know very little about Audis, and we're about to start taking this one apart, so wish us luck.
Miles one day called up, gave us a call and said, hey, come help me on this build. And he kind of just gave a brief explanation on it. I had been itching to work on a car. It'd been a long time. However, I was very nervous going into this because I am not a mechanic at all. I feel like I'm pretty handy. I love to take things apart and see how they work, but that's about where it stops.
I've been elbow deep inside of my Mustang.
Pause.
And so I've been elbow deep inside of my Tacoma's engine bay. I've been shoulder deep inside of my Mustang's engine bay, but I've maybe been knuckle deep inside of any German car's engine bay. So I had no clue what I'm doing. I'm wondering why he hit me up. And so he gets me on a group FaceTime with Grant and David and himself, and he tells me the backstory of his uncle's Audi A6. I thought it was quite the interesting project. I've never done anything like this, but I'd like to push myself and learn new things. So I said, sure, I'll come out to Atlanta and help you guys make this build happen.
So first order of business is getting the front bumper off because we're replacing the front bumper with a new one that looks really cool. But taking this off is going to give us access to the heat exchanger and a bunch of other important stuff. So Grant is going to turn the wheels, which is going to make it easier to get access to the screws behind the front bumper because we're still waiting on Vince and David to get back, who have the jack stands and everything we actually need to get this car up off the ground. So for now, we're going to try to make it shake. And then once we get that out of the way, we can have the bumper off of the car and then probably start on the intake first. I don't know if that makes the most sense, but it's literally right here, so might as well. These plastic pieces are never coming on the same. I have these same stupid ass things on my M3.
Yeah.
And they are not made to come off. They go back. You got Grant, fourth quarter. This is it. We should be able to pull the entire bumper off, which for us is a huge accomplishment so far. We're making a little bit of progress. Got the intake, we got it off?
No.
Oh,
No. So we don't have like a socket or anything that for a torch.
Awesome.
And all we got's like that driver.
Yeah.
with the Tory spits.
Very interesting.
Like, and it's obviously too.
So we're just getting that
too much,
initial
so I'm
break,
taking the Tory
and then we're
spit
literally just finger twisting
and
that
holding
shit
it with a
up.
crescent wrench.
But he's on the last screw. I got the other side. We're about to get this. Yeah. Pull on the left side, or pull on the right side. All right. We are free. The bumper is off. The bumper.
no,
We're not free. We are not free. We are enslaved. Now that we have the front bumper off, we're gonna move on to the heat exchanger. I think that's the correct sequence of events.
I don't know. I still feel like I'm worried about us being able to access all of this stuff from the pulleys.
Yeah.
That's like, because we definitely don't need to add this.
But yeah, this is our heat exchanger, and one way or another, this is going to have to make its way onto the car. How we're going to get it on the car, I have no idea.
I honestly thought that owning a BMW would prepare me for working on any front engine German or European automobile. You know, you have your engine with some exotic flair that usually has a bunch of like plasticky parts that assist in electronics and sensors and just like the typical German car stuff, right? Probably around, 6, 7 p.m. on day one, I realized, yeah, this might not go exactly as planned.
Plastic. German manufacturers love using plastic in all of their cars, even the crazy expensive ones. So you'll find yourself often spending maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, just trying to get a tiny little plastic clip off of something so that you can get to the next thing. It's these tiny little road bumps that have a huge impact on your overall timeline. That is working on a German car. Right now we're trying to get the horn connector off, and that is proving to be quite difficult.
So day one, we're taking the bumper apart, and we're trying to get to the pulley, and we're also trying to replace the heat exchanger. And every single step we take to make further progress, we realize there is so much more to be done. With every step we make, we realize we have 10 more.
It's starting to set in that this is going to take longer than we had initially planned.
Campus police gets behind me. Change his lanes every time I change lanes. I'm panicking. I'm real.
Feel it getting?
Yeah. For sure. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. Go back down. Nice. There we go. And
Hold on, there's some-
kind of stuck here. There we go.
Hold on, we got something connected. So.
It's 7 p.m. Friday. 95 degrees. They ain't got no... Well, I can't finish that part of the song. But it's actually Monday at 7 p.m. And the boys are trying their absolute hardest to get the front end disassembled and a new heat exchanger prepared for installation. This is all for them to get to what really is the first major upgrade on the car. But there is trouble looming, and they might be indeed cooked.
So, 5 hours basically, and we got the bumper off. Yeah, we finally got the car mostly disassembled. So the heat exchanger, that's a big upgrade item on these cars that we have to take off. So that is our new heat exchanger over there, fully prepped and ready to be put on the S5 so we can make some more power. A big issue we ran into was getting the primary part of the front end off so that we could have space to then access our pulleys, which are down here. So that is the next step, effectively. We have the heat exchanger in place, so now that that's done, we're going to work on upgrading the pulleys, and then once the pulleys are done, we'll probably do the intake. No, pulleys, then heat exchanger, then intake. Maybe by 1 a.m. we could be we could be effectively done with this.
Yeah.
We'll see, but we've got a lot more work to do.
So, funny story, before embarking on this project, I was having a phone call with one of my friends, Will, from the Captain Crankshaft channel, who has also done some work on a B8.5 Audi S4, I think was his car he had some years ago. And he told me one thing, he said, man, just make sure you have the Supercharger pulley removal tool because, man, it was a mother to get off without it, and we had to do so much stuff and heat the part up, and it was just a nightmare, absolute nightmare. This was probably a month before we started, and I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, 034 is for sure gonna just include that part with the kit. Why would they not? It's a part of doing the upgrade, so we'll have the part, no sweat. I wasn't even really thinking about it.
So an issue that we've run into is that we don't have the 034 Motorsports pulley removal tool. That is very important for effectively removing off the primary pulley for the supercharger. And so we went to AutoZone, we got what we think is the right part, and now we're effectively going to spend the next undetermined amount of time trying to get that off.
And then here comes Monday, and we're taking everything apart, and then we're realizing we don't have this tool. And then Will's voice starts echoing in my head. And I think that's when I realized, yeah, we might be in trouble.
Yeah, wish us luck. This will be interesting. But once we get that off and then get the new pulleys on, get everything upgraded, the car will effectively be ready to tune once we then get the new heat exchanger on and then bolt everything back up. We have a huge pile of screws over there, and I'm going to have to remember where everything goes back on this car, so that'll be fun. And yeah, that's basically it. So more work to do. It's like 9:30 right now.
Face like here, like that gap looks.
It does look like it's coming off.
But I mean, it is bending, but it is.
Ever so slightly, so hopefully it'll fucking come off before it bends entirely.
So when we realized that we didn't have the pulley removal tool, I wasn't too concerned. I definitely did not expect us to have struggled the way that we did on it. Like unevenness.
Yep. Yep.
This is the most shit.
I know, dude. Jesus Christ.
Oh, there it goes again.
I can literally see like the top one like bending, like.
Yep, here we go. Already ready to give out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it didn't even
I
feel like,
felt
I could
that.
feel it like moving off to
Yeah.
the side a little bit.
Pulley. And once you get it on there, it'll be solid. Check their like their website. I know they have for their YouTube.
Man. Y'all want to try and put on the front loop?
Yeah. Yeah. I think we just as is.
The boys had this pulley job for nearly 8 hours, and their brains are absolutely parboiled. So to recharge brain cells and their aura levels, they called it quits for the night, and were to hit the ground running as soon as the roosters called at dawn.
So we called it quits last night with the pulley. It is 7, almost 8 a.m. In our current situation, we still have this freaking pulley on, but we are getting this for the life of us. This thing is coming off. So our current plan now is to basically split up, go to a bunch of different hardware stores and see if we can find the right tool to get this thing off, because we were messing with like 3 different things last night and we could not get this thing off.
It has to come off.
It has to come off.
Literally has
It needs to come off by like middle of the day today. We need to have this thing off by noon. We need to have all this stuff off by noon, so that we can focus on everything else: the suspension, the wheels, the magnetic paddle shifters. That might be like a Wednesday afternoon thing. We got to get this off, regardless. So that's what we're gonna do now. Go to a hardware store, see if we can find the right tool. Hopefully we can.
So sometime on Tuesday, we have gone through more tools than we would like to admit. And at this point, we're very tired, very frustrated of our current situation. And the fact that the pulley is still on the supercharger, we're just tired of looking at it. At some point, we figured that we should probably heat the pulley up as well. We might have seen it on a YouTube short or something that we should heat the pulley up. It expands and it makes it easier to slide it off. Regardless, none of the pulley tools were working, even when we heated it up.
At this point, the boys had spent more money on pulley removal tools than your local Atlanta man would spend for a couple of nights at the Pink Pony. But even with the team morale very low, they decided to give the removal tool one more go.
Yes! 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 Let's go! Ah! Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I hate this thing, man.
It was a $15 kit that got this pulley off, when the part goes for like $200-300 from the different companies that sell this online. $15 is all it took, and I guess probably like 15 plus hours of trying, but $15. That's wild.
We got it off. We got the freaking pulley off. We probably spent maybe 6 or 7 hours just on this one item, just trying to get this one thing off. I am beyond thrilled that we got this done. We spent almost 7 hours trying to get this piece off. But effectively, now that we've gotten it out of the way, we're closer and closer to getting the new pulley on, the crank pulley, the upgraded crank pulley, which is a lot lighter, because, yeah, we have it on the car now, but this is the old crank pulley. The new crank pulley is much lighter and is going to spin much faster, which in turn is going to allow more air to get into the engine, give us more power, give us more supercharger whine. That's what we want, effectively. So we basically have until 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. tomorrow to have this car drivable. And so that means getting the suspension done today as well. Wish us luck. All right, coming in hot, coming in hot. Yes. Sweet.
With the new pulleys installed, the boys' aura levels were now earth-shattering. They would then move on to their next objectives before giving the car the very first post-install startup.
So we just about finished all the pulley stuff. Now we're basically trying to reassemble the front end just a little bit, so that we can get a basic sense of how we're going to get the heat exchanger on there in preparation for then putting on the intake and then eventually the new bumper we've got. So this is what we're working with so far. Right now we're just trying to figure out fitment for the headlights, which is kind of a bit of an issue. We thought it was just going to be as simple as screwing it back on exactly where we came from, but apparently not. And I think we'll be ready eventually once we get the intake on to do our first cold start of the car, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. I really hope it doesn't blow up. That would be bad. Alright, so we got the lights on, we got the power connected. It's a moment of truth. We just have like a test fit going for the intake, so we don't have the carbon shield and everything like that, but just a base kind of fit just to make sure everything works. And so, David, gotta do the honors. Alright, here we go.
3, 2, 1.
I feel like I just saw a bunch of shit fly up. You didn't see that?
What does it smell like?
Not good. You smell that?
I don't smell it.
You don't smell that?
No, what are you smelling? I see it. I
Smells like
trust
plastic.
you on it.
Have you plastic?
Yeah. That was not fun. That was not fun at all.
A common recurring theme throughout this build is every time we finish something and we think we're getting closer to the end, the end just seems to get further and further away. This is one of those points where we're figuring out what is going on, because we have the belt that came with the kit, we're putting it on, and it's giving us all these issues, and we're thinking, oh, this should be pretty straightforward, and it's just, with every step, again, it's revealing 10 more that we need to take.
Okay, so that didn't sound great. I don't know if that's like, yeah, we smelled some things, we heard some things. I don't know if we broke it or not. So whatever it is, I feel like it has to be supercharger related. That's definitely what I heard. Back to square one. Yeah. I would really hope we don't have to take all the shit off again. That would be horrific.
After, some more inspection, we determined that it was the idler pulley that wasn't spinning. It basically was like seized up, and so it being seized caused the belt to just rub on the idler pulley and pretty much melt it. And it created a lot of plastic buildup on the belt. Luckily, we were able to get a new idler pulley and get that installed.
While Grant and Vince worked on fixing the idler pulley, Miles and David got started on installing new suspension on the car, and removing these basic parts is honestly a mother.
No. All right, ready? Two. Yes, there we are.
Yes! Yes! Yay!
That's it.
Yes!
That was it.
Yes! Kill it, whatever. Yeah, we gotta.
Woo! We got whatever.
We gotta buddy back up.
All right. Yes. That's exactly what it was.
Yes! Start it up, and it actually sounds like unreal amazing. Like, it is wild how good that Supercharger sounds.
All right, Grant, explain how we finally got the car to stop squealing.
Okay, so we thought it was the belt. Guess it wasn't the belt. Apparently the tensioner pulley, I'm guessing it like was binding somehow and wasn't spinning like it's supposed to be, and so it just like burned basically the grooved part of this pulley. So
Incineration.
yeah, literally just melted it right like clear, and so it's just making that annoying squeal. But
That annoying squeal was it literally wearing against the pulley.
yeah, it
And
just
not
was like,
spinning the
not
pulley,
spinning it,
but wearing
yeah.
against it and just making it literally not a circle anymore.
Yep.
But we put a replacement on and it worked. So
The car revs.
How many trips to AutoZone we got?
I think we're
O'Reilly's and
I think we're at
Advanced Auto Parts.
5 trips today.
Maybe 5 trips each.
Yeah. I've gone twice.
I've gone.
You, and then
Did
David
we go-
went at one
Did I go
point.
did we go this morning?
Yeah, we
We
went
went this
first thing
morning.
this morning.
Okay, and then I've got 2 more,
We've got together at least 10 AutoZone trips today.
Yeah.
Combined.
something like that. And then,
Something like that.
Yeah.
Too many.
10 AutoZone trips later, we got it.
Right.
It's running. Now
O'Reilly's.
we just
O'Reilly's worked out too.
Yeah.
Don't
so
want to give them all credit.
our next our next struggle is suspension. That
yeah.
has been a struggle for sure. Audi has one of the most overly complicated suspension setups known to man. It's so awful. I hate it. Yeah, but we're gonna get through this. I'm dealing with trying to get the strut assembly off right now, and it's just like spinning. And this is really, I'm never working on an Audi again. I'm not gonna lie.
We're over the hill.
Yeah, we are 100%
This
over the
is-
hill.
there's light at the end
Suspension,
of the
yes,
tunnel.
suspension we can handle. I guess the next thing we just have to make sure we don't fry the ECU with the tune.
Make sure we put everything back correctly.
Make sure you put everything back correctly. I mean, especially suspension stuff. We want to make sure the
Yeah.
car actually drives properly when we take it out tomorrow. Which we have to have this car ready to drive by like 9
Tomorrow morning,
a.m.
So we gotta grind.
Yeah, we have to have this car ready to drive by like 8 a.m. tomorrow. So it's going to be a long night.
With the suspension being the new main task, all the boys picked a corner and tore this son of a apart. But as the night progressed and caffeine stock was being depleted, the energy in the garage began to take a hit.
So now we're tackling the suspension, and man, once again, Audi just likes to make things more complicated than they need to be.
All right, so it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and we are finishing up the suspension work on the car. We have the Bilstein B16 coilovers, which I'll talk a bit about more later. My brain is absolutely cooked. But they're looking quite nice under there. You can see the blue springs. You don't have a light over here, but you can see, you can see that under there. And it's basically the same thing all around. So once that's done, we're gonna get the wheels on, gonna get a general sense of the test fitment, and then we're going to have to put the front bumper on, the new front bumper, because we just realized you can't take this to the exhaust shop without a bumper. That's kind of wild, so we have to do that. And then I think we'll be back on track, kinda, right?
Yeah, it'll just be like bodywork, aero.
Bodywork, aero, something I'm sure is going
Going to end up being annoying. The magnetic paddle shifters. Where's that in the box, by the way? That's probably in one of those boxes over there.
By the way, it's almost 4 a.m.
Yes, it is almost 3 a.m. We're still, it's not that late.
Lunch is behind. No, it's right on time. It's just my brain is behind.
Yeah, I mean, my brain is in my behind. So, yeah, with that, we'll cut to when we make more progress.
All right, 4:45 a.m. I'm faking every single amount of energy I have right now. We're about to jack this car up. And we're jacking it down to test 50 wheels.
The first test with that. This is the first test with the new suspension.
Yes. Loud YouTuber voice.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? At this point, we've already run out of our beer. We've already run out of our pizza. So the boys' morale is just not there. All of us are ready to get the build done and get it on the road. But we're still so far from getting the build done and getting it on the road. And being that we've all been awake for now 40 hours, we're drifting in and out of consciousness, working like mechanics who are actually licensed and know how to do this stuff, when we absolutely do not. And so we're sleep deprived, we're floating in and out of consciousness, and it is just not a good time at this point.
It was funny though, seeing Vince like go in and out of consciousness, like every time he would kind of just sit down for more than 2 seconds. I think David was starting to get delirious. It sounded like he was kind of like talking to himself a little bit. I mean, and I get it. This was extremely frustrating. The suspension was so annoying trying to get on. And we were all sharing the same impact wrench, which slowed us down even further because we were just like homie hopping this impact wrench between the four of us trying to unbolt and bolt in certain stuff. Yeah, we were not super prepared for this, despite us making probably like 15 hardware store runs during this week.
I mean, like, you can get it as close to here and just jack it up high enough to put...
Yeah, where?
With enough effort, the suspension was done. Kind of. And now the boys must reassemble the car to the best of their ability so they can make their 9 a.m. exhaust install appointment. But of course, another issue ensued.
It's morning time and we have been up the entire time. So we got all the coilovers on. We're testing fitment, making sure it's all even. Then we noticed that this side is lower than all the other sides, drastically. It was, the top of the tire was practically underneath the fender. And then that's because we noticed that the little notch, effectively, that holds this strut in place and protects the strut from going down further, it broke off. So, I mean, this strut is effectively broken. So, we don't really know what we're going to do now. I don't know if it's really possible to fix that in the time we have. So, we're just going to have to hope that it's drivable for the brief stuff that we're going to do. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, major setback for sure. But we have to get this car to the exhaust shop, so we have to get this front bumper on, and that's what we're going to do right now. We have the RS5 style bumper ready. So yeah, let's get that on.
At this point, we know we screwed up. We broke one of the struts for the front left suspension, and so the car is like leaning in one corner, but you know what? It'll roll. I guess we could probably get it to Auto House with no problem. So at this point, we're just like, let's just get the bumper on and get this thing out of here, get the exhaust on, because we really only got one more day before, we have to basically be done with this build.
This build is absolutely cooked. Just barely a real build. But I must admit, that new bumper from Canadian Auto Performance is quite hot.
So we effectively have 30 minutes to get where we need to go, to the exhaust shop. We have the bumper on, but it's not really on. We have some fitment issues that need to be addressed. But we're going to get the wheel on, hopefully it's drivable. We know the engine works. We have our intake all set up nice and right. So next thing you see will be us going to get the exhaust done in this car, which should hopefully go smoothly because a professional's doing the job. That's why. Looks like an RS5 with some questionable fitment issues. Yeah. I mean, once we get it dialed in, it's gonna be something.
The heat exchanger does look sick through the grill now.
Yeah, it does.
So then at like 7:30, we just had to say, you know what, the fitment's not perfect, but we have to go. We're gonna miss this appointment to get the exhaust installed.
Very jank bumper job, by the way. We were ready to get it out there, and there were some things that we may have overlooked, but it was enough to get on the road, and we were so close to the end goal.
At this point, we start the car up again. It's running fine, seemingly, and we're getting ready to take it out on the road for the first drive. And at this point, I was like, we have finally cleared the major hurdles, and I think we're on the other side of this thing.
What is that flapping?
I think that's the sticker, probably the tire sticker.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
I have to get it out of my head that the car's gonna like be faster because we don't have it tuned yet.
Right.
Okay, 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 1. I like that.
Nothing's going wrong. Actually, everything is going much better than what we thought it would be, or at least as we expected it to be when it's finished. We send it up the street. It sounds incredible. Incredible sounding car, even before we put the exhaust on, which we were going to do.
That first couple of minutes of taking the car out on the road was absolutely sick. Just hearing it go through the gears, the supercharger absolutely screaming. It was so sick. Until it wasn't.
What does it smell like to you?
I'm not smelling it anymore as the wind's kind of blowing.
Okay, it's driving over here. Yeah, transmission malfunction. Oh. Where's the hazard button? Oh shit, yeah, I'm stupid. It's smoking! Oh, then I gotta check engine. Oh, all the coolant is gone.
Yeah, there's a coolant.
There's a coolant.
Yeah. Said you smelled it burning. I figured like, oh, maybe it was some burnout, but yeah, there's literally no coolant.
Yeah, so we have a coolant leak. We clearly did not plug up all the leaks we think we did because it was right here. And now all the coolant miraculously disappeared to right here. And you can see it in the under tray. That's not water, that's 100% coolant. So we just gotta let the engine cool off. I think it's too far to get it pushed back to the house.
You know what it probably is?
What's that?
It's probably that hose that we tried to stop the leak out of.
Okay.
Like right below the coolant reservoir on this side.
But where is it? This one's good.
Like down here, remember we tried to stop the leak right here?
Which one is it?
Quite sure it's this hose right here.
This hose?
Yeah.
We weren't running it for that long.
That was 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
And it didn't start showing signs until halfway through.
Yeah. That was not even 5 minutes. That was like 3.
Yeah.
Vince and I are at a red light, and I realized, wow, I mean, the car's smoking a little bit on the front end, but I mean, We used probably like 2 gallons of WD-40 on like every corner of this car trying to get stuff off. You know, Midwestern car, so a lot of stuff is rusted and needs some lube in there. And we're like, it's just the WD-40 burning off. You know, we did spill some coolant, that's probably just burning off. Just stuff burning off, it'll go away in a couple of minutes. It didn't go away. As soon as I turn at that red light, going through the gears again, and then I'm like hitting the paddle. The car's not shifting. It's not shifting. I'm like, what is going on? Then we get some dash lights. So the car is now broken down. We're in the middle of the street, blocking traffic. And at this point, I'm like, this is not good. This is not good at all. I think we might have actually just ruined this car.
The fact that it's still smoking too. That's not comforting. Yeah, that's just coolant burning off. I think it's good that we didn't. I think the engine killed itself before we could. Like it just refused to drive after a certain point. So I think the engine should be fine. I hope. We know the Supercharger's fine. Right? But yeah, this is not good. Now I'm gonna have to call Auto House and tell them we're not gonna make our appointment to get the exhaust installed because we got to get this thing towed back to the garage to then assess this leak. Realistically, just thinking out loud now, I was supposed to get this done by tomorrow because my friends, my girlfriend, everyone's flying in for a wedding tomorrow that's happening this weekend. I might have to stay here after the wedding and finish this. I might be in Georgia for a while. Yeah. I will. Yeah. I'm going to have to find somewhere else to get an Airbnb that has a garage so I can finish this. Which is, you know, not ideal, but it is what it is.
So don't know if Miles is going to put this in, but right now we are waiting for a tow truck on the side of the road because the S5 has broken down. But it doesn't seem like we're going to make it to Auto House in time for the appointment. And so, yeah, he's on the phone with him right now, trying to communicate, trying to see if they know anything about what went on, because right now we don't have a source for the coolant leak, but we know the coolant leaked and pretty much purged itself all over the under tray of the car. So it is not a good situation. We've all been awake for 25 hours plus. We're not happy, but you know, got to make the best out of the situation. Tow truck is coming, and we're gonna diagnose the issue, hopefully.
At first, we saw coolant leaking everywhere, and we're like, we didn't button something up, so coolant is leaking. But then I saw oil.
So it's not just coolant that we're leaking. We looked at the intake, and that is yellow. It's hard to see, but yeah, that's yellow. That's oil. That is oil that we found on the ground. That is a lot of oil. Yeah. This is not good at all. That much oil is not good at all. The car stopped smoking, so there's that. But I mean, I think it's safe to say that this is not getting done in the timeline we anticipated, which is sad. But it just means more content for you guys. I'm going to have to come back and then finish this. When? I don't know. But it's going to have to happen.
It was like a roller coaster. Just, 5 minutes before I was at the very top, and now the very bottom.
After all the hard hours of work we put in on this car, especially getting to know these guys, working with them, and just working towards a common goal, and we finally reached that goal on the way to get the final touches done on this project. It really sucked to know that everything we did was almost worth nothing because one little thing that we missed, it was soul crushing almost, because we thought we had everything done. We thought we did a double check, a triple check, and then got on the road. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
I think there's something about being delirious that makes me just like super emotionally fragile. Sometimes things can just be like really funny, or things can make me like really sad. This was one of those things that made me really sad. I was actually sitting in the car as it was going up on the tow bed to help it get on the tow truck. And so David, Vince, and Grant were outside the car. They didn't really see me inside the car, but I started crying a little bit in the car, I'm not gonna lie. I think half of it was for sure I'm just delirious and kind of just like upset, and my brain not knowing how to like fully process those emotions. But on the other hand, I felt like I failed. Not just like myself. I feel like I failed Uncle Phil. And he would have been quite upset to see to see what was happening in that moment. And both of those things combined, I was getting a little teary-eyed, to say the least.
To see all of our collective efforts amount to this moment, the car ending up on a tow bed instead of making it to our destination, that was a bit demoralizing. We put in tons of hours towards this common goal. We thought we had everything finished, all for it to amount to a car being on the back of a tow truck. We don't know what's going on with the vehicle, and the hours ahead are just full of uncertainty as we just don't know what's going on.
After taking a historic L for the ages, it was time for Miles and company to take out the trash. Because what they were not going to do is pay that Airbnb cleaning fee.
It's weird, right? Because basically the next day after this was supposed to be me finishing this build, feeling proud about doing something for my uncle, and then, going to celebrate love, going to celebrate this coming together of two people who really love each other, and celebrating that with all of my closest friends and my significant other. And instead, I'm now, trying to be present in that moment, but also in the back of my head just realizing you just destroyed your uncle's car. You just destroyed the last thing that he had left. The only thing he really left behind for his son, and the only thing of value that he left behind. You just broke it. And I'm supposed to just like go to this wedding afterwards and pretend like none of that happened? So for now, we kind of had to put it down. I just, I had to just take a step back, let the car sit in its broken state, and kind of just figure out what was next, which, I knew we had to do something. So next step was just figuring out what went wrong and how it went wrong, which gets real interesting. I'm determined to get this car fixed. I'm determined to finish what we started. I am determined to see Uncle Phil's vision through. I'm determined to get this car on the road as it was intended to be. And so that's what we're gonna do.
With the S5 left in disarray and the boys going their separate ways, the future did not look bright. But just as your favourite neighbourhood crackhead, this team is not going down without a fight. In the next episode, the boys will reunite to finish this build once and for all. At least, that's the plan.
So Grant put us on to this place called Marietta Diner. Absolutely incredible customer service. The food was great, but we're all very sleep deprived and very hungry.
Pure delirious,
we ran out of.
We were slurring words,
Absolutely, we didn't know what we were doing.
We don't know what we were doing.
And then Miles orders the most diabolical combo of food at 10 a.m. Bro decides to get Eggs Benedict and ribs.
I don't even like. That was definitely not like a decision that was made with a full brain power.
Absolutely not.